Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had an amazing week. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, it's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. We are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, welcome back. Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. If you are watching the replay of this on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page, be sure to like the page, share this video, and subscribe to the page. And again, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from today. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, where I'm at today. For those of you who tuned in last week, I do apologize. I couldn't be here live. I would probably say 98.7% of the year I can be live with you all. But of course, sometimes I have conflicts with travel. So I was, if you missed last week's mental health moment, I was literally at the airport about to travel. Um, but nonetheless, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you're just tuning in, again, let me know where you're tuning in from here in the comments. And if you are new to Mental Health Moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. So that's what Mental Health Moments for. That's what it's about. And we're here again every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. So a couple of quick announcements for you all before I start today's Mental Health Moment. Okay, let me do it off the top, on the top of my head here, but a couple quick announcements. One is next week, so next Tuesday, which is May 5th, I will have a guest on. For those of you who've been tuning into Mental Health Moment for many years, you know that I used to have guests on in the past, and then, things just changed a bit. Things got a little bit more hectic, but nonetheless, I'll be having guests on again coming up here. So next month, in case you did not know, hi from Virginia, welcome back. In case you did not know, next month is actually one of my favorite months of the year, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So next Tuesday, which is May 5th, I will be bringing on BJ Daniels. He is a Super Bowl champion, which is pretty cool. Not that many people can, have that title, right? Super Bowl champion and also a champion for mental health. So I'm definitely going to bring him on. Next week, you'll hear from him about what it takes to win mentally, which we talk about a lot here, right, on Mental Health Moment. But I always think, I don't know, I always think about people that are just really like excelling at the top of their game, whatever that looks like, whether they're an elite athlete, whether they're, top in their, like who they are as a person, or maybe it's work or, whatever it is in life. Like a lot of us, I would say, especially on Mental Health Moment here, right? We're striving to be better versions of ourselves, whatever that looks like for you. So I'm excited to have him on. So again, make sure you tune in next week, which is May 5th. I'll have BJ Daniels on. And then the following week, May 12th, I will have Dr. Akia Keith on, who is totally like one of the most incredible people I know. Honored to know her and to call her a friend. But she's worked with the WNBA. She's an international speaker. She's an advocate for wellness. Like she does so many things. I'll let her tell you more about her, of course, when she comes on. But that'll be the following Tuesday, May 12th. Yeah, we have another panel coming up here, but I'll let you all know the date when I get that. The other thing I will let you all know as soon as I know registration information. There's a couple of events I'll be speaking on this summer, which are open to the public. Which I can invite you all to. So I will definitely let you all know those events, dates, time, registration, all that good stuff. So hopefully I will see some of you all and you can come out. But yes, thanks for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Again, let me know where you may be tuning in from here in the chat. And I think those are all my announcements. Yes. Okay. I actually have another announcement, but I'll announce it next week. But nonetheless, thanks again for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you did tune into last week's mental health moment, you probably knew that I was traveling. As I mentioned earlier, hi, I am here live though again today. But I was talking to you all last week about really starting to ask yourself what season you're in, right? So maybe you're in a yes season or not. Maybe you're in a no season, and that's okay. There's this is not really right or wrong. It's more about you understanding and really thinking about being aware for you where you're at physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? And then making the necessary changes. Hi from Philadelphia. Welcome. Thanks for joining here. North Tacoma's in the house. Welcome. Boston's back. Welcome back. But again, yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from here today in the chat. I appreciate you all so much also for being here. But I wanted to kind of expand on last week, talking about like what season you're in, because sometimes we don't really realize what season we need to be in. So maybe you're in a yes season, but you really should be in a no season, or vice versa, right? Or sometimes we find ourselves forced to be in a certain season because we realize, wait a minute, we didn't have enough self-care, or something was going on in your life, or whatever it is, right? Which is all good. This is, by the way, if you're new to mental health, this is a no judgment zone. Okay. So it's really, really less about our self-blame and judgment towards ourselves versus like, hey, you know what? We noticed something we need to change within ourselves. Let's work on changing it. Right. Which is not always overnight, and that's okay. Cincinnati, Ohio's in the house. Welcome. George is in the house. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let me get some water really quickly. But yeah, so I'm going to give you all a couple of tips today to really think about like how do you sort of assess, right? How do you sort of look at what season should you be in? Should you be in a yes season where you're saying yes to a lot of things, to people, to if you work opportunities, or if it's kids, grandkids, whomever, right? We know like we have a lot of demands on our time. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. There's so many people, situations. I don't know about you all. Some days I feel like everyone I've ever known in my entire life needs something in like one day. I don't know if it's just me. And I'm like, wait, did everyone like have a meeting? And like the text messages, emails, phone calls, it's like everybody like all today needs something. Right. So it can get overwhelming at times when we just have a lot of different demands certain days, right? But nonetheless, I'm going to give you a couple of tips today. So the first tip is to really think about when you're trying to decide like what season should you be in, or maybe you need to change into. The first thing is you really want to pay attention to your patterns for you, right? So all of us have different levels of energy, different levels of motivation, inspiration. It is completely on a spectrum. And again, it is okay wherever you're at. Some of you are just like energizer bunnies, which is great. Some of you are like more chill people who are like, nope, not trying to do that. Like it's all good, whoever you are, as long as you're happy with who you are, right? And it's healthy for you. That's okay. But again, take a look at your own patterns. Like, are you finding yourself in a place where you're like, I am so exhausted, Dr. Hammond? Like, is that where you're at? Right? Are you so overwhelmed? Are you having trouble remembering things? Are you having problems concentrating? Are you having problems at work or at home? Like, how are you doing? Right? Like, checking in with yourself. And also, maybe you're just a forgetful person. Like, I get that. Right. But, like, are there changes that you've seen within yourself? So now all of a sudden, maybe you used to be very organized and now you feel disorganized, or you used to be great with your memory and concentration. Now you're having trouble like concentrating on things because you're so stressed out, right? Maybe you used to feel really good physically. Now you're just drained all the time, or mentally and emotionally too. Like now you're right. Like, where are you at? And I want to say it could be on that side, right? Just sort of declining. You're like, man, I'm just really tired right now. Or it could be on the opposite side. Because again, we're all going through different experiences. So yours might be completely opposite. You might be like, man, I'm feeling good. Life is good. I have so much energy. I feel blessed, things are going well. Like we're all in different seasons, right? Hi from Jersey. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So that's the first tip today. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about, actually last week we kind of started talking about checking in with yourself. Like, what season are you in? Are you in a yes season, or are you in a no season? And it's okay either way. Let me know in the comments actually if you're in a yes season or if you're in a no season. And again, someone said, I just can't get it together. You know what though? Oh my gosh. Having met thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people, having talked to so many people, whether it's like clinically in the practice, whether it's speaking engagements, whether like there's just so I'm honored to have had the opportunity to talk to so many people, right? Globally. And I will tell you all that you are not alone. For the person in the comments that are like, I just feel like I just can't get it together. That is like such a common thing that we experience. It's probably why I talk to a lot of groups about burnout prevention right now, because it is so common, you all. I hope that for those of you who feel that way right now, I hope that you don't feel alone in that, because that's like millions and millions of people. Like it's very common to feel that way. It's just a matter of recognizing that. So yay for the person that says, you know what, I checked in with me and right now I feel all over the place, or I feel overwhelmed, or I feel stressed out. That, let me tell you, that is a good thing for you at least to be aware of that. It is so easy. I talked about this last week, but it's so easy to be distracted by the world around us, everything that's happening in everyone else's personal life, what's happening on the news, what's happening in the world. Like it's really easy to get distracted and not even understand that you're like, you know what? I'm really stressed out, right? Like it's easy to just gloss through that. But when we do stuff like that and ignore ourselves, um, like there's consequences to that. There's physical consequences to that, mental health consequences to that when we do that. So again, not from a place of self-blame. So if you're now in a point where you're like, you know what, I didn't even realize I was neglecting myself, don't come at yourself with the self-blame, the self-critic. I can't believe I didn't, like, don't right. Like we're not trying to do that. Instead, you're gonna say, okay, you know what, now I know, now I've learned this, but let me see how I can be better. Like that's sort of the mindset I want you all to have. Um, and trust and believe. I think, well, for those of you who read my book, Mindset Training, or you've been on mental health moment at any span of time, you all know too, and I've been very transparent with this with many different groups that I've spoken to, that I used to be horrible at self-care. When I talk about the person that used to gloss over, like just checking in physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, like where you're at. Hello. I am a former one of those, right? People. And like it's really life changing when you get out of that cycle though. It's not overnight, but the first step has to be you making a commitment to yourself, which you deserve. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have joy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy and physically healthy, right? You are deserving and worthy of all those things, but it does, right? It does take, there is a process to get to the other side of this, but it is very possible. It is very possible. Okay. Let me see what your comments are. Someone said Dayton, Ohio's in the house. Welcome. Michigan, Tampa, Florida. Hey, Tampa. Someone said I'm definitely in my no season. All good. Someone said I'm in a yes for me season, no for some things that don't serve me. LOL. You know what? I just love, listen, I get so excited in case you guys couldn't tell. I love when you guys are telling me things in the comments, but I promise you all, whatever season you're in, okay, let me back up because we're talking about self-awareness. As long as you know for you, like you know where you're at. Again, like what is your stress level? 0 to 10, right? If you're at a 10, you probably don't need to be in a yes season, saying yes to everything around you, right? Like that, no, like you're already at your max, right? But if you're at like a 2, you're like, oh, I got a little bit of stress, I'm good, right? Maybe you are in a yes season. So again, as long as you know for you, like what is the healthiest thing for you? I feel like a lot of us sort of know that answer. Now, whether or not we do those things to help our mental health is a different story. But we know what we need to be doing, but sometimes it's hard, and I get it because there's a lot of distractions in the world. Someone said, I used to be a yes person. Now I've learned to politely say no. Sometimes it goes like, thank you for your consideration. However, I love it. I absolutely love it because, well, that's one of the things on my list. But sometimes we need to work on our boundaries. And I know you've heard this before. It's like something new, like, oh, work on your boundaries. But the reason why it's important to check in with yourself is your boundaries can change over time, right? So again, if you're in a yes season, your boundaries might be different than someone that's in a no season, and they're like, okay, like I know people, they're like, I don't take any phone calls or any emails after like 7 p.m. That's not my boundary, and it's all good though. I respect people that are like, I got to cut off at a certain time. All good, but know again what season you're in, so you can say, okay, maybe that is your boundary. Like I don't. Some people say I don't work on the weekends, or I don't, work after hours, or I say no to certain phone calls for certain people. Whatever it is that your boundary is, as long as you're thinking about how does this protect my mental health, right? How does it protect your energy? Um, Someone said I'm definitely in a no season for things that I know will drain me. However, I'm saying yes to new experiences and opportunities that will help me to grow. I love to hear that. That's so great because you know what that's called? Discernment. I love that. That is so good. I'm glad someone brought that up because yes, if you are now you all have to be very intentional. This is a super skill, by the way. I mean, a superpower that this person just mentioned. But if you have intentionality, that's the thing. Big asterisk. If you have intentionality for your life, and you can work on your discernment, then the quote opportunities, demands, whatever you want to call it, that come your way, you can take a step back, like this person said, which is so beautiful, and say, okay, is this something that's going to drain my energy? Right? Person, situation, opportunity, quote, because some things are phrased as opportunities for us, but it's not really opportunities. But anyways, so is it something that's going to drain you, or is whatever that situation is, person, experience, is that going to be something that helps you as a person? Right? Like maybe you're in a no season, but you're like, I'm in a no season, but like a couple of these things I need to say yes to. It's all good, right? But you, in order to do that, which is a great way to live, by the way, you have to be very intentional. You really have to work on your self-worth, right? Self-love, self-worth. Like you have to work on those things in order to be able to discern, right? In order to be able to really stop and be like, wait a minute, let me analyze for a second. Because again, I promise you all, because I met so many people, myself included, like it's real easy to just be on the go. Just go, go, go. Next thing, next idea, person, situation, and you don't even stop to pause to be like, wait a minute, right? What do I need for my health? So take the pause. And that's a really great way to live. So I'm glad someone brought that up. That's so great. Someone said helps to alleviate mental health anxieties. I love that. I absolutely love that. Absolutely. Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome. Providence, Rhode Island's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Someone said, I agree with you on all the things you're saying. Yeah, and I appreciate you all sharing your experiences also, because I really think it always adds to the conversation. So I appreciate you sharing that. Someone says, stress is one of the reasons why I'm in my no season. Establishing boundaries is crucial for my overall health. I love it. I love it. And let me tell you, that's one of the things too. I mean, ideally, I know we're all busy, but ideally, if you checked in with yourself like once a week, like where's your stress level at? Right. And not to say, so it's funny. When I'm on podcast interviews or like a lot of different organizations, they always ask me, they're like, is the solution just lower your stress? And it's like, well, yes, ideally, but there's certain things sometimes you can't lower your stress in your environment around you. Like maybe you're stressed out at your job. I mean, the solution might not be like, I'm just gonna quit my job. Well, hold up. Like, the economy's a little crazy right now sometimes. That might not be a feasible solution, right? Even though, yes, technically would lower your stress or whatnot, but that might not be a feasible solution. So then if you're in whatever that is, stressful environments or stressful situations or whatever lifestyle you have, if you have 5 children at home and they're under the age of 10, I don't know, like there's certain things, right? That they're just stressful. So then it becomes a thing of knowing where is your stress level at and how can you work on every single week? How can you work on lowering your stress level? Right? There's, again, like that person said, there's things that are going to stress you out. Can you reduce your time around that situation, person, or whatnot, or not? It might be I don't know, your grandkids. I don't know, right? Like just certain situations that again cause you stress, but you can't do anything about it per se on the outside, but inner, like your decisions, though, how you treat yourself, your boundaries, your intentionality for yourself, like those things you can control. Right. Someone said, yes, boundaries can be shifted. The key thing is that you absolutely remain in control. Yes, for sure. You can always shift your boundaries. And again, like I mentioned, just for an example, you might be in a season where you're like, okay, I have to shut off communication or, take care of myself or have more self care. Whatever the boundaries are for you, your non negotiables, which we've talked about before, a mental health moment that could be in a certain season, but then a year or 2 later, you're like, "You know what? I'm good now. Like, I can change up that boundary," but you might need another boundary, which is all good. So it's always something that is changing, which is good, right? Someone else said, stress is a sleeper. Absolutely 100 100. Oftentimes you can't control it. Yeah, there's so many things you all. There's so many things that just are stressful. Let me tell let me tell you all. First of all, when was it? Sunday. Yes, Sunday. I was having dinner with my son and I'll just tell you all a little story. Slightly stressful. No, very stressful. No, so I was having dinner with my son, my amazing son. He's my favorite son. I always tell him. Um, and and typically I clear the kitchen table typically before I serve a meal, which I didn't do that time. So I had my laptop beside my food and my cup of water, and of course I spill the water into my laptop, you all. Moment of panic, of course, it's my laptop, like most of our laptops, it has a lot of information on there. And super long story short, I end up taking it to the Apple store where they're basically like, "Yes, ma'am, there's nothing we could do for you. Like you're like it's it. Like your the internal parts are fried or whatever type of thing," he said. And so it's like, "Oh, ship it somewhere and hope to get your date off." All these sorts of things. Moment of panic, yes. Stress, yes. But at the same time, I thought of you all because I mean, it's very stressful. I'm still dealing with all that nonsense. But the point is, whatever your stress is, your certain things happen sometimes that are just outside of your control. There really comes a point where it's like, you know what? Literally, well, I'm not gonna lie. As I ship off my laptop today and I pray, I'm like, you know what? Dear Lord, let the data be able to, come off or whatever they can do. But then I realized I'm like, you know what? But this is literally outside of my control at this point. There's nothing else I can do. Say a prayer is outside of my control. And there's a lot of things that may not be, hopefully, I do not wish anybody to spill water in their laptop and destroy it. But whatever that thing is that happens to you that is stressful for you, right? That there's a point where it happens and it's outside of control, fill in the blank for you. Understand that you do have a choice. You have a mental you have a choice, right? A mindset that you go into. You could either, it's funny, I read this somewhere and I don't remember where I read it, so I apologize. But you could either go into a thing where you start to say, okay, look, oh my God, this bad thing happened and this bad thing, so everything's bad has happened. It's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad week. It's going to be a bad month. It's going to be a bad year. You can literally just go into that mindset. And I almost did. I'm not going to lie. Because there's been lots of things happening. I'm like, really? Not the laptop? But I was like, nope. So I stopped myself, y'all. And I was like, no, no. And instead, I went into a place, and this is a long time training of this, but I went into a place, I was like, what am I grateful for? Then I remember the most amazing son on the planet. I adore this child. Like, I was like, okay, like very high on the list, right? Like, my family's good, you know, such and such, like, is healthy. Like, I'm healthy. I'm right. Like, then it's like, okay, but let me, even though it's stressful, don't get me wrong, still dealing with this nonsense with the laptop. But I'm like, but what am I grateful for? Right? Like, what can I think about, like all the positives, right? And then can I think about the bigger picture of my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, for us to get into those mindsets, to really shift into those mindsets instead of spiraling down is something also that can help you over time. Okay. I digress. Anyways, I don't, you're talking about stress, and I just got on my tangent. Okay, so someone said they want to be around positive people. I love that. I love that. Someone said after 20 years in a very demanding role, being laid off was a shift that I didn't expect. My first reaction was to start applying immediately, but I realized I needed time to step away and reset. Taking the time to help me have taken the time has helped me have a clearer mindset. I love that. I love that because it really goes into showing, like, you checked in with you to know what is it you need for you, right? Like, that's of course 20 years. I mean, that's a long time. Um a layoff is hard on its, like, it's really hard just mentally and like all the things emotionally. But you also said, okay, hold up, like, I need to take a break, right? Like that was the solution for you. So I love that because you took a pause and you're like, okay, what is it that I can do to like help me right through the process? So I love that. Someone said being realistic about my bandwidth helps. We're not robots and can't be everywhere doing everything at all times. Very accurate. I have to pause for myself, and I learned that the world, work, family, and friends will survive if we take a mental health break to regroup. It absolutely positively will. You know what's fun? Okay, I'm gonna admit. So I've had colleagues before. This sounds so horrible. Lord forgive me. But I've had colleagues before, and you probably have people like friends, colleagues, or whatever in your life too. When they take social media breaks, for example, and they come back, these are not like, okay, I wouldn't say like my best friend, but like colleagues, right? So people you see, maybe a couple times a year, they'll be like, they'll come back to social media. They're like, hey, I took my like whatever 3 month break. And I'm like, oh, you took a break? Like I didn't even, right? I didn't even realize. So my point is, please understand that you're absolutely right. Like the world will be okay if you took the mental health break that you need, whatever that looked like. For some of you, I talk about take a minute. So it's taking the minute. For some of you, you need to take an hour, which is all good. For some of you, you need to take a whole weekend. Like it's not a right or wrong, but just know it's hard sometimes too, because we really think that us taking the time for ourselves is gonna like take away from other people. There's a very high chance though it's gonna help the people around us. Because again, I always say this on every mental health moment, but they really want us to be, trust me, the people around you want you to be the best version of who you are, right? So again, you taking however that looks like for you, the break, the reset, the recharge for you, it's going to positively affect the people around you too, right? Because they need the best version of you. Okay. I got two more tips, you all. Okay. We're at 26 minutes. That's crazy. But thank you for your comments. I love when I can see the comments because sometimes with technology, for some reason, I cannot see them, which I don't like, but I love that I can see them today. So thank you for sharing. Okay, two more tips, and I will wrap up today's mental health moment. The second tip of today is this is extremely important, speaking of social media, is to really work on, and if you're just tuning in, we're talking about thinking about what season you're in. If you're in a yes season, no season, we talked a little bit about it last week, but also this is kind of like a part two of how to really understand maybe what season you need to be or switching seasons, right? Um, the second tip of the day is really working on not comparing your season to someone else's season. It's so easy to do that, especially with social media. When you look at other people's social media highlight reels, understand that it is a highlight reel. It's so easy for you to compare yourself. So if you're like you may be in a season of pause. Like a lot of you kind of said that. You may be in a season of pause. And when you look at people's social media, they're in a season of like acceleration. Like they're growing in some area or they quote unquote have this perfect lifestyle or everything's great, which it's not. Well, I promise you it's not. But anyways, the highlight reel. So you see that, right? It could be your friends, your family members, your coworkers, whoever you're looking on social media, like, man, they got this going on, this going on, this going on. And I'm over here taking a break. Listen, I'll be direct with you all. Please do what you need to do for you to protect your energy, to protect your mental health, to take care of yourself. If you are in your season of rest, but someone's in their season of, I don't know, the promotion or whatever it is, that is that has nothing to do with you, right? You in your season for you. Or it could be the opposite. You could be in your season. Maybe you're working, maybe you're climbing the corporate ladder or whatever it is for you. You're in your season of growth, right? And you're over here looking at pictures. You're like, man, is everybody on vacation? Because it could feel like that, but you're not in that season. You might be in the season of go, go, go. You have so much going on, or you have kids, grandkids, or whatever it is you have going on, and you're stressed out over here. And the next person is like relaxing on a beach somewhere that you'd rather be doing that life, right? But again, I know it's hard, but I really strongly urge you not to be comparing other people's seasons with yours. All of us, again, we are all in different seasons. You might be in a season of grief, right? And that's hard. If you are in a season of grief, or whatever grief looks like, whether it's financial grief, whether it's loss of a person through a breakup or loss of a loved one, or whatever that looks like, please, please, I beg you to take care of yourself. They're just hard seasons. I went through season of grief. Some of you know this a couple years ago, really difficult, right? But especially during those seasons, you really want to add in the extra self-care as much as possible. Take care of you. That just might be your no season, which is okay, right? But that might be your season. But the point is, do not compare yourself with your season with other people's seasons, right? They might be at the mountaintop and you're in the valley. You're like, what's going on here? Right? But it's okay. You're not going to be in the valley forever. So it's hard. But it doesn't rain forever. Okay, last tip. Um, Last tip, and then I will close up. Usually, by the way, you all, we do this for around 20 minutes ish, but I love that you all, I can actually see your comments, which is exciting because again, technology does what it does. Um, so um, so I love doing that. But if you're new to mental health moment, you're like, this is kind of long. Yes, it's normally not, but it's all good. I'm happy to be here with you all. Okay, so the third and final tip of tonight when it comes to looking at kind of understanding like what season you should be in, the yes season, the no season, or how to maybe adjust. The other thing is to ask yourself, what in this season that you're in of your life, what is it that's actually required of you? And some of you all said it earlier already, which is great. So what I mean by that is like, do you need to update your boundaries? Do you need to change your boundaries? Because again, what you like how you lived your life, 2 years ago may be completely different from how you live your life right now because you may be in a different season, which is okay. Right. So do you need to change your boundaries? Do you need to give yourself permission to heal? Maybe that's your season. You're like, you know what? I'm at a no right now. I'm in a healing season. That's okay. Like it is such a beautiful thing, you all, like to understand that you deserve to, like you can give yourself permission to heal. You are allowed to be in a healing season. Do not let social media fool you, you all. I promise you, all those people on social media that look like they have perfect lives, I promise you they don't. I've met many people that have told me flat out, like, yeah, social media is a lie. Like I'm not saying everything on social life. However, it can really look glamorous, perfect lives, perfect lifestyles. And again, you're getting like 30-second video of like a 24-hour day. So keep that in mind, not comparing yourself to others, as I mentioned, and really thinking about for you, are you giving yourself permission to heal? Are you changing your boundaries if that's what you need? For some of you, you mentioned it before, some of you just need to slow down, and that's okay. Some of you need to speed up. I don't know. But again, it's a matter of like in this season, what is it that's required of you? Right. And you like, you are allowed to change your mind. So you might have started the year. I mean, we're almost halfway through the year, which is crazy, but you might have started this year and had certain goals, had certain things you want to do. Life happens, things happen. You're allowed to change your mind, right? What is it that's in your best interest? What is it that'll help you with your mental health? Like, really, when you filter, someone said that earlier, which I just love, like, just, sort of filtering opportunities or different demands on your time and energy. Like, is it good for your mental health? That's one way to filter also. Like, is this something that's going to be helpful to you? Or is it something that's going to drain you and deplete you, which maybe you don't need? I don't know. Grateful to 10 from Maitland, Florida. Welcome. Someone said great point. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Those are my tips for today. But as I wrap up today's mental health moment, if you came in a little bit later, I just want to remind you all really quickly that next week, I'm super excited. Next week, Tuesday, May 5th, I'm going to have on BJ Daniels. He will be our guest. He is a Super Bowl champion, amazing human, and also a champion of mental health. So I can't wait for you all to meet him. We're going to be talking about what it takes to like have that elite mindset, right? We talked a little bit on mental health moment, but I thought it'd be cool to bring on a guest, especially a Super Bowl champion. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Not many people could say that. But so he'll be here, yeah, next week, May 5th, and then the following week, May 12th, I'll have on the amazing Dr. Akia Keith, who I just love and adore. You'll love her too when you meet her. But she'll be on. She's worked with WNBA. She's an international speaker. She does so much with youth, families, like just everything you name it. Like she is also champion for mental health, and an amazing human. Like just love her. So yeah, so I'll be bringing them on, and then also we'll have another panel, but I don't want to overwhelm you with all the things. But yes, the next couple weeks, make sure you tune in. I'll have those guests. I'm super excited to bring them to Mental Health Moment. Someone said, love the advice. Everyone's path is different. Comparison doesn't add value. It absolutely doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. It's really hard. It's hard though. I know. I get it. We're social beings and we're all like, I don't know, maybe some of you are kind of nosy and social media like, huh, what are you doing? What are you doing? So it's a very common thing, but just try your best to realize all of us are in different seasons, and that is okay. Like, don't let it take away from where you're at and what you need for you. You're absolutely welcome. Okay, so for real, I'm gonna wrap up today's mental health moment. But I want to say, of course, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I will be back with BJ Daniels next Tuesday, May 5th. So 8 p.m. next Tuesday. I will be back here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. Take care of yourselves. Remember what season you're in. It's all good either way. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.